Prasad sir, good morning. You can start the session. Reminding will join.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Before going to the session, give me a second. Yeah, good morning. Let me introduce myself. Myself, Prasad. I'm from Hyderabad, and I have overall 8 years, 10 years, 8 plus years of experience in ETL tool background. That includes talent and Abinitio. I worked for city client. I worked for many clients, but currently I was working with the city client, which holds the major ab initio projects in the market. So let me introduce yourself and you're from and what is your educational background and what about your IT experience? Someone?
Hi, sir. This is Shivshankar.
Yeah.
I have an 3 years of experience as a business system analyst, sir.
Okay.
So I'm from Vikarabad, and my background is BSc Computers.
BSc Computers.
Yeah. After that, I did MBA also.
Okay.
But, BSc Computers is a major for ITs, right? So I mentioned that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's all, sir. Thank you.
yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Purna.
Okay.
I'm from Andhra Pradesh, India. I'm working as a system engineer at Tata Consultancy Services since last 3 years. That's
Can you repeat? Your voice is a little low and it's breaking. You're working as
system engineer, uh,
system
TCS.
in TCS. Okay. So you have an experience?
3 years.
3 years experience. It's related to the networking, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, let me go through the concept of Abinitio. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So welcome you all. And here, ab initio means it is an ETL tool. ETL is nothing but extract, transfer, and load. So extracting the information from the data or an input. Input is nothing but it could be anything. Input, it should be any Excel file or any flat file or any CSV file or any kind of email attachment also. So that's the main use of ab initio. So we are going to transform the structured data or unstructured data into the data warehouse. Data warehouse is nothing but, so we'll see what we are going to cover in this ab initio entire course. So we are going to cover the data warehouse concepts and what is OLTP systems and OLAP systems and what is the architecture of the ab initio and why we need to choose the ab initio apart from the other ETL tools and what is the opportunity we are going to have in the background when we are going to learn this ab initio, and we are going to cover these topics. And what is the prerequisites required for this ETL tool? We are going to learn about. So, have you aware of database, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Database is used to for the storage purpose. So, whenever we have some organizations, the organizations are going to store the data of the employees or their business requirement details, or all they are going to be stored in a tabular form into the databases. So the database that is going to be used for a different organization, they are going to use the different database like Oracle, DB2, MySQL, so or something, etc. What is the business requirement according to their budget and according to their flexibility and according to the resources, they are using the different databases. So for entire databases, the structured language is similar, that is SQL. The structured query language is same for all the databases. So the main prerequisite for the ETL tool is structured query language. So in this ETL tools, we are going to utilize the structured query language where we need to extract the data, or after extracting, we have performed some transform functions and we load. So in order to extract the data, in order to check the data we have loaded, in both the cases, the structured query language plays a major role. So take an example of real time. When we are going to lock the room, uh, we'll have some bunch of objects in our room. So we'll lock it and we'll place the list of, suppose taking a supermarket example, like we're going to some supermarket and we'll have some products over there. And what the supermarket will person do is they will add some products and they will give you a bill. So there the person is mismatched the details. So that time what they will do is they will check the first login registry table first. So there what will you see is the list of products that are available before your purchase. So before your purchase, they are going to check what is the number of products available there, and they will recheck after your purchase. So what they will do is they are going to get the mismatched details or the products which you have purchased over there. So that is the real-time scenario where you will come to know the viewership of the data. Like it is going to visualize your data. So difference between the data also you can come to know based upon the structured query language. So that's the main prerequisite of ETL tool. And file access, like nowadays most of the input files are like the banking sector or any kind of secured banks are not nowadays using XML versions and JSN versions or CSV. Why? Because to protect their data, they are using different kinds of data formats. So in order to secure, because any person can open your Excel file, person can open your Excel file and view your account details or account balance. That kind of details anyone can know. So in order to avoid that, many companies or many organizations are using security data like XML and JSN version. So they cannot be easily extracted. For that extraction, they need definitely a ETL tool. So that's the file access you need to get for the different kinds of CSV, XML, and JSN files. So input here, it is acting as an input for your ITL tool. So the transformation is logic is like main cleaning rules and mapping rules for the database. Like whenever we have some data in a input file like Excel file, you need to know what kind of data we have. Either it is structured or header we have, trailer we have, any null values we have. So that kind of knowledge also you need to definitely have to understand the data types. And data types and formats. Data types is nothing but strings, integer, decimal. So all these things we are having some knowledge in the degree in, or BTech in that time. Whenever we have some basic database knowledge, we'll have some these logics, right? Like where to use the decimal, so where to use the string, where to use the integer, what are the decimal types of values we are going to use. So that kind of knowledge, and the formats of the files. And the programming logics is like if conditions, where do we need to use the if conditions, and where do we use the else conditions, and where do we use and conditions. So and that join conditions and join if. So that kind of programming logics we need to have in the transformation logics types, because all these transformation logics we are going to use in the Abinitio components. Whatever the data types or transformation logics or the programming logics, all these we are going to use in ab initio transformation components. And the Unix commands are basically used to integrate with your input files and output files, and to create a directories, to fetch the data from the input source, and to view the data before going to the ETL. We are going to visualize the data in the Unix. It will be used for the transformation of your moving of your one file to another directory, from one directory to another directory. So that cases also you need Unix command basic knowledge, like how to create a directory, how to move a directory from another directory, how to give a permissions to one directory, and how to restrict the permissions, and how to uh, copy a directory, and how to copy a file. It can be file or a directory. So these kind of basic knowledge you need to have, and to list out what is the number of files or directories are available in the uh, main folder. So that kind of operations you need to perform in the ETL tool. So that will need to support as a prerequisite for the ETL tool learning. And this ETL is nothing but data is pulled from various sources. Sources is nothing but, as I explained, Oracle, MS SQL, or it can be some database. Nowadays it is advanced, like it is from API also, some web services also. So nowadays it is integrating with AWS and all. So we are going to get the data from that web services also. So that is extracting the information from different kind of sources. Transform is nothing but you are transforming or performing some operations in your data. So that is called transforming. You are changing your structured data into different kinds of requirement as per your business person required. Suppose you have some duplicates in the data. Suppose 1 to 100 records are there, and there are 90 records are original one and 10 records are duplicates. So the transform function you are using here is removing duplicates. So these removing duplicates comes under transform, because you are changing your data, you are applying some transformations here. So you are changing your data into a genuine one, like your data is like 100, and you are removing the 10 duplicates, and you are giving the original data to your client. So that's the business requirement here. Here is removing duplicate. So the examples is like standardizing the format. For example, dates are not in structured way, so you are changing the date and you are changing the currency. Suppose your file is in from India, so you want to change the currency of into the USA or other countries. So that kind of operations also we can do. So you are calculating the new values, like the input is like totals, or else some kind of person is having some purchase from the market. So from the market he has done some number of purchases. So you can also perform the transformation in ab initio components, like what is the total of that particular user. Suppose, take an example of DMart. N number of persons will go to the DMart for a month, for twicely or thrisely. So you want to know what is the total amount of purchased he had done in the entire month. So that transformations we can perform in the ab initio components. We'll see in the deep sections how we are going to use, what components you are using for the total and averages. These are like an example here I am giving, but we'll see in the deep how these performances are going to be happen. And join multiple data sources. We have some bunch of data from the input, like one input file, two input file. So in that scenario also, we need to include all the input files into one output file. So that kind of scenarios also can be done in ab initio. So load is nothing but whatever the data performances you have done in the ab initio, you are going to load into a data warehouse. Sometimes we can load into some output file also. The business requirement, according to the business requirement, how the client will ask you, he will ask you to load into a data warehouse. Data warehouses are nothing but a place where your all the historical data is stored. So nowadays, Redshift, Teradata, Netezza, these are the kinds of the data warehouses available. Data warehouse also used to store the historical data of the organization. Here I have given the example of how the ETL tool works. Here take an example of ICICI Bank. Here it is going to have the 25 years of banking sector knowledge, experience in the banking domain. So here the ICICI Bank is going to have the several sections like accounts, loans, investment, insurance, employees data, property. So as I explained earlier, accounts is having some Oracle database, loans is nothing but MySQL, investment and insurance is having DB2, and employees data they are having some HR kind of details they are stored like Excel sheet or CSV files or JSON, and the property details are storing in some other. So all these data is interlinked with going to or integrated with ETL tool. We can store or we can extract the data using the ETL tools and loading into the historic data warehouse. So the usage of data warehouse is to normalize or to reduce the redundancy for the, suppose take an example, you go to some bank and you'll ask for your account statement. So what they will do is they will check based on your account details and they will give. So think that there the person is having 30 years of data. So 30 years, from 30 years he is maintaining an account in the bank. So there are n number of people in the bank, they are maintaining the accounts. So when we go and ask for the account statement, immediately he will give. So the scenario that work out the use of data warehouse is there, it means they are storing the data in the data warehouse, not in the OLTP type. OLTP and OLAP will cover up what in the data warehouse concept, and we'll discuss in the data warehouse concept. So what is OLTP and what is OLAP? So the scenario in the real-time example, it is not getting stuck or it is not going to take the time. Why? Because they are not storing all the data in their database. So in order to fetch the details from the data warehouse only, they are getting. So that is the use case in the real time, the use of data warehouse. So in order to reduce the redundancy, or in order to simply we can say in the terminologies, there is no stuck in the data. So we can directly go to the data warehouse and it will fetch the details. So it will give you the account statements. So no need to worry about stuck of the data, or we can say taking the long time to hit the target. So that's the use of data warehouse. So sometimes will our system will get slow. So what does it mean? So that means it is hitting a large amount of data. Front end is developed by some Java or web applications. That is, we no need to worry because it will be a simple UI. So it is going to hit the huge amount of data. So to save that time, these data warehouse concept came, and it is loading the data into the several types of different kinds of tables. So in order to hit the accounts data, you are only using the accounts one. So that is the case where these ab initios are came into the pictures. These ETL tools are came into the pictures that are reducing the time and reducing the access time, reducing the customer times also. So that is the main concept of data warehouse. Here the source is OLTP and the target is OLAP. Source is nothing but the front end, what you are going to see when you are opening an account in an online. So that is the front end, and the back end here is the target, which is going to be the stored in the different types of data warehouse. Depends upon the number of or the size of the data that is going to be loaded. It depends upon the organization that is going to be used the data weight. So here the market now Netezza, Teradata, Exadata, Redshift, and AWS. These kind of data warehouses nowadays it is available. And to what is the use of data warehouses? To secure the data of the organization. Either it could be employees, or and could be the profit, and it could be the business growth, and it could be the loans history. Coming to the banking sector, it is the main use. And some kind of organization is there. So the organization wants to see how sales it was happened. Suppose Amazon is there, so what kind of sales it was there, and what kinds of profits they are gaining from the past 1 year or 2 years. So in that scenarios also you'll come to see this data warehouse concept. It is like a large volume of historical data from multiple sources to support business analysis reporting. You have an idea of dashboard, right? Power BI and all. So how the dashboards are going to create over there. You want to visualize how your how your business is growing over there. You want to visualize in a graphical manner. See here the concept of data warehouse will help you. We have some data. the market data, like their sales data. So they are going to import that sales data into the Power BI, and they are going to visualize the number of sales per year. So there the report will generate. They'll see what is the number of sales that was happened in that particular year. So in that scenario, these data warehouse is also used, and from there they're going to analyze their data, like what is the number of sales for that product, what is the number of if there is going to get the profit or loss according to the season or according to their monthly revenue. So they are going for that is going to use for the business growth also. They will understand how is our products there in the market, they are going to be sold according to the our their manufacturing or not. So improve their data quality and consistency. They are going to check what is the next month how many products we need to manufacture. So this plays a major role, data warehouse. So we'll see what is the components of a ab initio. Components is nothing but the number of products that are interlinked with the ab initio. So one is GDE, and another one is cooperating system, and third one is enterprise meta environment. Fourth one is conduct IT. We'll see step by step, and in this one, and we are going to deep dive into the coming sections. What is ab initio components are? GDE is nothing but the graphical UI. Like we are going to visualize the tool in the graphical manner. What is the graph and what is the p set? That kind of visualization will we can show or we can see in the GDE environment. Cooperating environment is nothing but flow of the data, or the what is the number of objects that are present in. So what kind of p sets or graphs that are going to run. So the execution engine that runs ab initio graphs. Here I have mentioned ab initio graphs, but in real case, it is like the number of objects that are going to be executed. Cooperating system is nothing like your operating system. So we have a Microsoft Office. Here, take an example like Microsoft Office is supported only for Windows system. So like that, here the graphical development environment, whichever you have the project is located, that is going to be supported by your cooperating system. Cooperating system is a nothing but an operating system or environment that supports your executed or created graphs or pieces. Enterprise metadata environment is a repository or a directory, we can call it as. In real time, it is a repository. In the understanding level, you think that it is a directory where your all the projects or all the project objects or components or data sets, whatever the transform operation files, it can be dbc file, sql file or xfl file or a jsn file or your graph pset, whatever it is stored, that directory we are calling it as enterprise meta environment. And coming to Conduct IT, it is a job scheduling and batch architectural tool. Conduct IT is nothing but when you have done all the operations related to your graphs. So you want to go for an execution and you want to go for some release. So releasing a graph, nothing but we are executing or moving it from data development stage to testing or production level. So in that scenario, these conduct IT is used for the workflow control. So we'll see in the classes how these control IT, enterprise metadata, and the graphical representation of your graph and your cooperating system will interlink one to one. See, here is the workflow. Source, target system. It should be DB, flat file, or your advanced level APIs. We are going to visualize the graph in the GD environment. It is going to be executed via cooperating system, and whatever the data we have in the logs and metadata system, that is going to be like a dependency that is going to be stored in EME, and the jobs we are going to execute based upon the conduct IT, and after the execution it is going to be stored in data warehouse or cloud. As I said earlier, the target should be either data warehouse or it can be cloud, or it can be a normal local files like output file or an output table. So we'll see in the next sessions like what is OLTP and what is OLEP. And I'll share the documents with the team and you can go through it. This is the real-time examples of what is OLAP and OLTP. So OLAP nothing but OLTP is nothing but transactional processing data which can be which needs to be frequently modified. So what is frequently modified means in the real time whenever you go for an account balance or whenever you go for account transactions, you have added some amount. Suppose you have some 1 lakh amount in your account and you are going to add 1 more lakh. So that should be implement or impact on a fast basis because you have done a transaction, so it should be impact in your account balance. So that's the case whenever you have done some ATM withdrawals or e-commerce orders or inline bookings. So these kind of examples that impact earlier. So suppose you have taken some investment like you have taken a loan or you have taken some gold loan. So that details will not fetch easily. So that time it will take some time. Earlier days we are opening some account. So that time these technologies are not aware and these systems are not aware. What happened is when we go for an account opening, they are taking some time, ample amount of time, like 5 to 7 working days. So that's the case where this OLAP analytical processing is there. So here is an example, sales forecasting and business performance, customer segregation to track the employee records. These operations are like a weekly basis they are perform or monthly basis. So these data is not going to be impact the regular data which is running on a daily basis. So that is the difference between OLAP and OLTP. So why to choose Abinitio? Like we have large amounts of or large number of ETL tools available in the market, like 50 to 60. IBM is having some data stage, Talent is an open source, and Informatica is there. So WSIS. So based upon that, there are n number of ETL tools available in the market. So why to choose Abinitio means the sector which is having the huge amounts of data. So like banking sectors is only the one which is having huge amounts of data or huge amounts of records. Whenever you have some transaction in the bank, so that is going to be stored as a record. So in the same case, like banks are going to have n number of records per day. So it can be the 8 lakh records or 2 lakhs records per day only they are maintaining like that. Like that, we have n number of banks in the world. So in order to handle this large amounts of data, these ab initio plays a major role. Comparing to the other ETL tools, these ab initio is going to handle the huge amounts of data. And the level of securities auditing is also compared to other ab initio tools, it is more effective, it is more secured, and the license cost of these ab initio is around nowadays it is in 1.2 crores. So based upon the security and the audit and they are maintaining the patches or they are maintaining the upgrade, they are increasing on yearly basis. So that's why these banking sector domains and healthcare and these telecoms are like they are like they need to give the secure to their customers. So secure means the account details or account balance need to be more secured with. So in that cases, most of the banks and telecoms are using these ab initio to secure their customers' data. So, and compared to other ETL tools, these ab initio is used for different kinds of variety of databases. Suppose if you take talent and all, the talent is going to be connect with the some kind of databases only. But in case of ab initio, it is going to connect with the IBM mainframe also. If it is your input is like a mainframe, it is also connect with the ab initio mainframe also, IBM mainframe also. But whereas in other tools, you don't have this type of extract possibilities not there with the other tools. Abinitio is the only ETL tool that is going to extract the information from the mainframe and cloud. So we are going to get the opportunities once we go for a ab initio learning stage. So we're going to get the banking sector or financial sector, telecommunications, healthcare, retail, e-commerce. All these MNCs are using this ab initio as their product for the ETL. So we are going to cover the topics in the coming modules like data warehouse concepts and Unix and SQL, Ab initio. We are going to help you in the resume preparation. We are going to help you in the mock interviews. And we are going to include you in the placement assistance program. So these kind of things we are going to cover in the coming sessions. From tomorrow, we are going to start the data warehouse concepts like what is OLEP and what is OLTP with the real-time example. And I'll show you the list of topics that are going to be covered in the coming sections. We are going to cover a Unix commands. What are the basic Unix commands for the next 2 to 3 days? And after that, we'll cover the data warehouse concepts like what is OLTP and OLEP and ER model, database versus database house, and what is the ACID property and data mart and SCD types and what is data lineage. And these kinds of data warehouse concept we'll cover in the next 4 days. And after that, we'll cover up some SQL concept which is used for your data extraction and data loading. No need to worry about SQL because basic kinds of data extraction, data like structured language is enough for the extraction and loading. And we'll cover up what is the ab initio in the next sessions we'll cover up with some use case scenarios also. We'll cover up what is the ab initio architecture and we'll cover up what is the number of types of components and their usage in the coming sections. You have any queries and you have any doubts to raise, Shiva and Purna, please let me know.
No, sir.
No, sir. So far good.
So far, good. Yeah. We'll start the dataware concepts from tomorrow sessions. In 3 sessions, we'll cover up what is data warehouse concept with the real time, how they are using. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. If you have any doubts, can you please share in the group? Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.